Back in the garage. Back in the garage. In the garage. In the garage. Back in the garage today. Back in the garage. Back in the garage today.
Hey, back in the garage tonight, putting on a bypass side stand modification to my Ducati. I've only been wanting it on here since I've had the bike.
Alright, so basically, all you get in the package is this switch and these instructions. It's from a company called Electreon. Anyway, had the good guys up at Ducati Winchester order this for me. It just came in today. We're going to get it on the bike. Now the whole reason for this is because as the bike is stock, you cannot have the bike running with the kickstand down even if it's in neutral. So, you know, these bikes start a little bit colder than some of the newer bikes anyway. You want to get them warmed up before you take off. Unfortunately, you got to sit there on the bike the entire time or put it up on some sort of wheel stand because you can't have the side stand down. This switch is going to allow us to actually have the bike running with the side stand down as long as it's in neutral, like every other damn bike I've ever owned. There are some test procedures you need to run it through to make sure everything's functioning properly before we start doing this. We've already done this. We know how the side stand switch and everything works. So we're gonna move on to step one down here and not actually do the pre-test. So we may have to lift the tank here in a second, but basically the next step is to undo this connector right here and then plug in the new wiring harness into these two connectors. Okay, so we got that connector pulled apart. That was easy enough. Now with the new wiring harness we got, that's plugged in. Now I am gonna tuck this a little bit better here in a minute and do something with this zip tie, but we'll do that in just a few seconds. So the next thing we're going to do is tilt this tank back. Okay, so we found the neutral switch over here. Same deal. We're going to unplug it. So I've temporarily routed the other end of this wiring harness kind of through here underneath the battery, and then eventually, you know, we'll get it all fixed. But basically all we're going to do is plug the male in into the female end here, and then this male end into this female end, and we should be basically done aside from tidying things up. And there it is, plugged up with the new wiring harness and the neutral switch. Now I haven't tidied anything up yet, but we do want to test it first, and then if everything tests out fine, then we'll get some zip ties and get everything tightened up. So now we're going to go through test A. Transmission's in first gear, side stand down, turn the key to the on position, press the start button. Try it now. Nothing, and that's what it's supposed to do. Test B is bike is in neutral, side stand is down, switch is turned on, and we hit starter. And that is what we actually want. Bike with the side stand down so it can warm up while it's in neutral. Alright, so I got everything tucked in here with zip ties. You can't even see where the neutral switch and the new bypass or harness piece of it is. And then I've got the wire running up the frame here. Now we're going to tuck everything in good underneath the tank and then over to the other side. Okay, you can see the wire coming through here. It's not going to touch on anything, and then it's running down to here. Here's the harness. Got everything zip tied up nice and clean. Let's drop the tank back down. We're basically done except for a couple more quick tests. Okay, so now with the engine running, side stand down, and bike in neutral, next thing we want to do is put the side stand up, and it should continue to run. So test C is good. Now with the engine running and the side stand up, next thing we want to do is shift into first gear, and it should continue to run. Good to go. Okay, and last but not least, with the engine running, the transmission's in first gear, the side stand's in the up position, lower the side stand to the down position. And the engine died. It has passed every single test. Alright guys, so the reason we went through these tests is because the way this thing works, it's set up on the neutral switch, aka the neutral light. So if the light's on, you know, it'll allow it to run. But as soon as the light goes off, meaning it's been put in gear, then the bike should shut off if the side stands down. So we just wanted to go through all these tests to ensure all the electronics were working properly.
Glad we finally got that installed. Now I don't have to sit on the bike the whole time it has to warm up. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section for us. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.